Hi, guys. Welcome back to Morant's Rants. Plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth, no financial advice. This is a one-take session on Twitter thugs. What's up, guys? I woke up this morning. Somebody wanted to start a fight. Beyond Uranus, how you doing? You know exactly who I am. You know the DD that I read, that I wrote, that I do everything I can to enlighten the public. But you are a critiquer of DD. I know who you are. You are PPC's right-hand man. You guys used to have a show together. You failed. You're terrible at your take. You're terrible on your YouTube channel. But hey, you want to go out there and write on Reddit as if you're someone of authority. Okay, let's do it. But I have one question before we even start. Do you want to see a dead body? Come on. All right, guys, here you go. This is Connecting the Dots. You guys know this series. I put this together a while back. Been working on it from the start. And Connect the Dots, you guys can go ahead and push play. It says play all, watch them all. And then maybe you'll understand where we're coming from. And I'll tell you why you watch them all. You just don't pick one and watch it and be like, oh, that was wrong. Because as I was making this series, I literally am putting the pieces together. And I tell you, hey, on part 4, I was wrong about that. Hey, on part 14, this has changed. Because as we get the information, it's forever changing. That's why you watch the whole series. But was I wrong? No, not per se. So let's think about this conclusion that I came out with. I told you, private equity is leveraging publicly traded companies via what exactly? Plants. And then I show you how it happens, and then everyone wants to dispute the actual factuals of it. And when I say, instead of 6 companies SuGov was involved in, it was only 5. Oh, I'm so sorry. But let's think about it this way, okay? Zales Jewelers is the start of a lot of things here in this world that we live in called, I don't know, finance. If you don't know what it means, and I'll explain it to you, you can't dispute this part. Beyond Uranus, listen up clearly, okay? SuGov, who is the CEO currently of Bed Bath & Beyond, was the CFO and senior vice president at Zales Jewelers for 25 years. The position is she was second in command at Zales Jewelers for 25 years. Who owns Zales? Apollo. Who has worked at Zales? Well, we'll start with Robert D. Nicola. Robert D. Nicola has also worked at Apollo. And I'm talking about, no, not that he worked for some companies that Apollo owned. He worked at Apollo, board of directors, in charge of like the retail sector for Apollo. But beyond that, yes, he was the CEO and chairman of the board at GNC. That's an Apollo-owned company at the time. He did Linens and Things as they went bankrupt. He did Claire's. I don't even know if he worked at Chuck E. Cheese, but I'm pretty sure it was somewhere around there too. Numerous ties to Apollo. She worked with him. She also worked with the next one, Beryl Raff. Beryl Raff comes from Macy's. What's that? Drexel Burnham Lambert deal, which is Apollo, by the way. So what do? They bring her in. She's still working with Apollo today, i.e. the Michaels deal. Apollo just bought them. She's getting sued for that deal as well. So, yes, she has direct ties. The next one, Marielle Forte. Marielle Forte, how are all these CEOs tied to Apollo? Please tell me. Because she's worked for everyone as well before she even got there. And that is Drexel Burnham Lambert deal as well. Ties to Apollo. Then we go Betsy Burton. We know how she had ties, GNC, UNICEF. She actually worked for the company that provided all the food to Sprouts. Who owns Sprouts, by the way? Apollo. Numerous ties, Theo Killen, who actually worked at Iconics Brands with SuGov and Zales. How do you not see this? How do you not see every single CEO working for Apollo-run companies, and yet she's not Apollo? She didn't just walk over to Vitamin World. Vitamin World, Nature's Bounty, who is Apollo, by the way, and direct ties to GNC, who is Apollo. No? We're just going to ignore it all. Fresh Market, she gets magically assigned as a board of director out of nowhere, independent director to Fresh Market, which is owned by Apollo. Now, I show you exactly what it is, and I tell you the playbook. I tell you how it's happening, how they leverage them, how they get their assets out of them. They do everything they can. Who appointed all these directors? Who was it? Neiman Marcus, the owner of Neiman Marcus. And when you look at him, that's Apollo-owned company as well that went bankrupt, by the way. He actually appoints these individuals. Then you see all the other individuals that are at other companies, and you can't put them together, you can't put the same CEOs that were at Chico's, they were at Foot Locker, they were at all these other companies over all these decades. And that's how this web has happened. But Connect the Dots does that for you. I take the yarn, I take the strings, and I put it all together for you. So what the hell are you disputing right now? You're sitting here defending Bed Bath & Beyond. You are one day away from your announcement that it's done forever, which it's always going to be this way, guys. We have a track record of 50 years of private equity leveraging publicly traded companies to gut them, carve out assets, vulture capitalism at its greatest, at its finest. And yet I got this Twitter thug out here telling me, well, you're wrong about the number of this and that. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? You said it's not 6 companies that Suga has been tied to Apollo. It's only 4 or 5. Well, what is it? How about if it's 1? I'll tell you what it is. You have a failed investment and you hang out with a failed YouTuber who puts out misinformation and he is misleading the masses of people. There is no need to debate. There is no DD to dispute. All there is for you to educate yourself. Do more than just write a DD piece about critiquing people's info and go watch Connect the Dots and then come and tell me I'm wrong. You know what it was? Beyond Uranus, I stood up here and I told you a theory at first. I said, I feel they're using this company, private equity, and they're actually going to manipulate people because they manufacture outcomes. Then I had to go see, is it really happening? And it's really happening at multiple companies. And I walked the whole way through Bed Bath & Beyond's bankruptcy, and I said it as it's happening. Somewhere along the lines, I connected a dot to Mullen Automotive via Taryn Pizer. I've also connected dots to Carvana. And as I look at this, how it's breaking apart, we've connected dots to AMC. Oh, AMC is definitely done. But what is so hard to understand? What is it that you want to fight about? You're bankrupt, and that investment is gone. And everyone's trying to tell you that some billionaires are going to come save your investment. Ryan Cohen, he sold Bed Bath & Beyond. He sold BBBY. You guys own BBBYQ. There's a big difference there. Educate yourself, young man. Connect the dots. It's there. And don't come for me. I got other shit to do with my life. Peace!